Good morning, chaps. It's Deepak here from Gobsmackers, a private tutoring company based in London. If you're looking for any kind of tuition or educational advice, I don't know if tuitional is actually a word, but if you're looking for any tuition or educational advice, feel free to get in touch. My contact details are just below. Right, now, today, it's Friday, and I want to talk about growing pains. So what do I mean by that? Sometimes, in terms of our rate of progress, we can kind of anticipate a trajectory that we're working on. So, and that might be according to a deadline. And let me give you an example of that to make it more tangible. So let's say, for example, you're learning Italian for a trip to Italy. I go to Italy sometimes, and the trip is in 3 months. You can roughly plot a timeline because, you know, in my case, my partner's Italian, and I might be meeting her parents, so I need to speak some Italian. See what I did there? Anyway, so what I call growing pains in this context is, you know, in the context of a language learning, is that you have to be prepared to adapt should the ball game or the timelines change. So if that 3 months becomes 3 weeks, you need to get your behind in gear, so to speak, to make sure that you can adapt with the less hours to make sure that everything's smoother, or you can indeed make things more efficient. So why am I discussing this? Because with Gobsmackers, the great thing is that inquiries and tuition and business is growing. It's a good problem that I have, and there's no longer just one that is Gobsmackers. You know, I'm in the process of bringing some new people into the team to help me cope with the kind of inquiries that we're getting, and I'm going through some growing pains. And that is with developing systems, developing processes, developing, you know, a tight CRM system, a tight accounting procedure, invoicing, dealing with follow-up calls, and just all the things you'd associate with a small business that's grown just a tiny fraction. And these are my growing pains. So that is the kind of moral of today's tuition tips. Be prepared to kind of adapt if timeline schedules or the situation changes for whatever reason, and you know, we have to kind of take the Darwinian stance, adapt to survive. So think of this when it comes to your exams and what I said about Parkinson's law. Set unrealistic deadlines to make sure that you get the necessary work done, because it's only with the proper incentives, and they can be growing pains, as I could have done this stuff earlier and I didn't. It can only be with the proper incentives that you'll get things done, and sometimes you need to artificially set them. Thanks, guys.